There have been 2 hotfixes, let's start! In case you didn't know, the critter pickup and drop off now do have an automation port. And this automation port has been moved from the middle tile to the bottom cell. Staying with this context, they fixed the critter pickup automation. Before they changed it, this input here had a description of a automation output, as you can see in this picture right here. Meaning they fixed the critter drop off and critter pickup strings. What I mean with this is the tiny little box here saying green wrangle access critter and red ignore access critter. They also fixed the critter drop off, this one here, requesting critter when you disable the building with logic like this here. I set this to the highest priority possible and no critter is being dropped off. If we change this, hopefully they will drop off the critter right now. Which also brings us to the next point. We now have the ability to set priorities to the critter drop off building. After a good night of sleep, finally someone came by and brought us this lovely gassy moo. Baby critter can now also be auto-wrangled by the critter pickup building. If you activate it, that is. 2 power transformer connected in a loop should no longer cause a crash. Let's see if hovering over the wire. Okay, works. Let's check it like this as well. Okay, don't ever build anything like this. The potential load tooltip, this one right here, should now also consider the power transformer consumption. They fixed critters incorrectly drowning under mesh tiles. I am not completely sure what they mean. Maybe that you bury them under the mesh tiles and they drown, or they don't drown correctly if stuck in a mesh tile. So now they should correctly drown under the mesh tile. Or do they mean this with under the mesh tile? I am not completely sure. Seems like they drowned correctly. They fixed the airborne critter condo not creating a stable. If we remove the grooming station, this still counts as a stable, even with just the airborne critter condo inside of it. Let's just place it up here and see if this works. Works perfectly fine. They renamed insulation, the material, to insulate or insulite, however you want to call it. They fixed auto sweepers not transferring food from storage. So let's see what happens if I deactivate and reactivate this. Maybe I should throw the dupes outside. We can transfer the dried food from this storage to the storage tile as well. And the other way around. In the supply closet, they adjusted some tops to better overlap with the skirts. Certain tops, including t-shirts and undershirts, now display as tucked neatly into the briefs. Look at Happy Mima here. They changed the default pants in the HVAC coverall outfits. Not sure if this here is the correct one. And they changed the Rebel GI outfit. They revisited the LED pants to include a belt. They fixed a visual bug when switching the blueprint of a rotated building. So I actually do not have blueprints of any building that is rotatable, so I'm not sure I can test this. Let's test with the sunny retro wall pot and switch it out. Switch out the left one for a blue one. Worked like a charm. The right one for a white one and the left one for the regular one again. Works like a charm. And as you have seen, they added an animation when switching which blueprint an in-game building is using. So if I switch the building right here, you can see this tiny animation. Very neat. They updated the gas reservoir blueprints to match the new art style. Because I don't own any of those myself, I'm going to show you in the supply closet. This is the new artwork with the new blueprints. The building rotation is now preserved when ordering the reconstruction with a new material. So let's change the material here to granite. Can we copy the settings over, by the way? We cannot. Change the material, granite, lavatory, change it to copper ore, copper, and change this one to copper as well. As you can see, the orientation stayed the same and did not change, which is the intended behavior. They adjusted the tasteful memorial artwork. You know where this is going. And this is how they look right now. They added a copy settings button to the manual generator, which is about time. Set this to 12% and copy the settings over to all the other ones. And check the one to the far most right, 12%, far most left, also 12%. And in the spaced out DLC, they added the copy settings button to the Radbolt Chamber. Set this to 100 Radbolts, copy the settings, copy it over to every single building, and now they are all set to 100 Radbolts. Works like a charm. If you crash land a rocket carrying a critter in a critter cargo bay, for example like this pip right here, let's send McLim into orbit. Now if we crash land this, let's see what happens. Abandon the ship, confirm it, they crash land, go to the planetoid, and there's McLim. Not sure what happened to the pip though. Let's first save McLim and then unpack this here. Meat, 1600 kilocalories. That looks like a pip to me. There you go, buddy. It is no longer possible to use the change material button on point of interest buildings like this Somnium synthesizer. There's just config and a blueprint. So I didn't even know this was the case, but apparently you could change out those buildings. Yeah. It is also no longer possible to use the change material utility on buildings which have not been researched yet. For example, this conveyor chute has not been researched, and if I want to go to material and change the material, it tells me that it requires solid transport research. So after we unlock this, for example with the developer mode, we can now change the material. They fixed a logic error that occurred regarding moving critters and moving materials. So actually moving critters was a material task and moving materials was a critter task, which somehow got mixed up and now they changed it back. So now moving this stone head here should be a rancher's task. Or as you can see, no one feels obligated to do so. Maybe we just cut the power here. There we go. As you can see, FRD dot is actually a rancher, so this adds up. Now let's move some material. Grab this meal ice and move it to here. No errand at a time. Thank you Enrag for doing the task, but this is not helping because you're actually a rancher. Let's do this again. Move dirt from here to here. Potato-san. Let's check out Potato-san. Not a rancher. So this seems to add up, but let's wait for them to deliver it. There we go. Seems to work. Thank you a lot for watching, and a special thanks to all the patrons that you can see on the screen right now. Thank you all for your continued support. Love you guys, and Luma out.